Hello, my name is Stephen Alff and welcome back to AlffBooks, and today we are here to do the Book Addict tag. I was tagged by Flynn from Flynn's Banter to do this, and I will leave a link to her video in the description. So let's get started. As you can see on screen, I'm doing this quiz, which is basically answer the questions to this quiz. That's the tag. So let's see what I have to say to these questions. How much of a book addict are you? Well, I guess it's time to find out, isn't it? Do you check all boxes that apply? Or rather, do you and then apply check marks to all boxes that apply? Something like that. Yes, we got what this all means. Okay, so let's get started. Read more than one book a month. Yes. Read more than one book a week. Yes. I've read 18 so far this year, so I think I apply for that one. Okay, you know what? I'm going to use this year as for it applying. I'm filming this on the 18th, so read more than a book a day. Yes, I've read a book a day, and for most of the year so far, I have been at more than that, so yes. Okay, let's move on. Read more than one book at the same time. Yes. Read more than 2 books at the same time. Read more than 3 books at the same time. Yes, yes. Okay, let's continue. Lose track of the number of books you're reading at the same time. Yes, I believe I'm reading a dozen, but I would not be able to tell you what they all are right now off the top of my head. So yes, lose track. Definitely lose track. Yeah. Prefer dates with books over dates with strangers? Yes, definitely. I mean, as much as I enjoy meeting new people, I mean, there's nothing better than just lying there and discovering a universe. I mean, the universe has loads of characters in it, though I guess characters aren't real people. Books are still so much fun. Prefer dates with books over dates with friends? Yes, yeah, I would say so. Prefer dates with books over dates with your main squeeze? Now I had to look up what this meant because I'd never heard main squeeze before. I kind of guessed what it meant, but okay. Yes. Is that bad? Is that good? Do I prefer books too much? Nah. Could that even happen? Prefer dates with books, period. Yeah. I mean, if I tick the 3 previous boxes, I can't really say no to this one. So yeah. Fall asleep with a book more than once a week. Yeah. Fall asleep with a book more than twice a week. I always have a book with me, so yes. 3, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, yes, 6 times a week. I have books with me every day. Come on, naps. Fall asleep with a book more than 7 times a week. Come on, naps? Okay, right. So they're saying in the case where you like take naps or such. Yes. Actually never fall asleep with a book because who has time to sleep when a book needs finishing? Ooh. Well, I mean, I ticked all the previous ones, so it's kind of difficult, but like, I mean, if I stay up until the middle of the night, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. reading a book, I think I definitely can tick this box because it's still not falling asleep with the book immediately, but still falling asleep with the book. So I still think it applies, but it doesn't apply, but it does. I'm ticking the box. Have one book on your nightstand. Oh, yeah, a bedside table, not nightstand. What am I saying? I read it, I knew what I was thinking, but not what I was saying. Okay. Yes, I have a book on my nightstand table. Do I have 2? Yes. 3? Yes. Have a giant stack of books on your bedside table? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I have quite a few there. Not have a bedside table, just a giant stack of bedside books that act as your bedside table. Well, I don't put anything but books on those piles of books, so technically it's not a bedside table, so I can't tick that box. Okay. Have one bookshelf in your home? Yes. Have 2 bookshelves in your home? Yes. 3 bookshelves? I have 3 bookshelves in this room, as in 3 bookcases. Yep. Have bookshelves instead of walls in your home? I do have a room where that is the case, so I'm going to tick the box for that. Though it is my parents' house, but I mean, I still live here at the moment, so it still counts. Not even know what bookshelves are because your home is entirely made of books. Not quite. That would be really cool, though. I'd like that to be the case, you know, just basically live in a library. Next question. Have a library card? Yes, I do have a library card. Have multiple library cards? I have 3. So yes, multiple library cards I do. Actually 4. I forgot the university one. Though technically, as there's more than one university on campus, What? Though... Though technically, because there's more than one library on campus, I could count that one card as for more than one library, but let's just stick with 4. Have multiple library cards because you are wanted at one or more libraries for exorbitant late fees. No, I have mostly returned books on time, and when not, I think it happened once or twice, it never more than 50 cents or €1, I think, that I had to pay for a fine. But so no, I do not have more than one library card for exorbitant late fees. That's brilliant. I'll remember that if that ever comes up. Read while at the dinner table. Yes, I've done this more than once. More recently, I've even done it with headphones, listening to audiobooks. But no, I have been there previously in the past with book reading, though I only do it if the food I'm eating is not too messy. If it's anything at all that was eaten with hands or something like that, there's no book near the table. There is no book near the table then. But yes, read while at dinner table, definitely. Read while a friend is talking to you. No, actually, I usually put down the book, so I can't tick that box. Read while walking down the street? Yes, I even read while walking up the stairs. Read while riding your bike? Yes, I've done this. I even have a picture of me reading while riding my bike.
You have to put that in.
I'm going to put the picture up right here on screen. If I find it, it should be easy enough to find. I think it's on Facebook. But basically, a picture of me reading while riding my bike. Yes, I have this picture. Let's move on. Read while driving. No, I have never read while driving because I don't have a driver's license. As easy as. Though I would never do it. Reading while driving is dangerous. Though, I mean, technically, if you count audiobooks, I would put in a CD, cassette, or whatever type of audiobook I have. I guess I could just connect the phone by Bluetooth to the car at some point if that's... or something future to Bluetooth if I don't get my driver's license anytime soon. We'll see. So it's something that I might do at some point. Audiobooks only. I will never read a physical book while driving a car. I'm not that crazy. Okay, let's continue on. Ever laugh out loud while reading a book? Yes, most definitely. I've definitely done this. Ever cry while reading a book? Yes. Most recently while reading The Invention of Hugo Cabret. Excellent book. I give it 5 stars. One of the books I read, I think it was book number 16 this year. That was really good. Really enjoyed it. But yes, definitely, it is one that I think deserved a tear or two to be shed. Such a beautiful book as well. Oh, okay. Ever swear under your teeth while reading a book? If I really don't like a character or a situation seems wrong, that definitely has happened. Ever swear audibly while reading a book? Well, if you think a character is really stupid or has done something really stupid, yes, it has already happened. Yes. Ever yell while reading a book? I don't remember if I've ever done this. Yes, I have done this. I can't remember exactly for what book, but I have definitely done this before. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Ever throw the book you're reading across the room because why? No, I have not done this. I couldn't do that to a book, so no. Ever do number 38 through 43 while reading the same book? Where are the numbers? I'm guessing they mean these few before, from laughing down to throwing the book across the room. But as I haven't ticked the one throwing the book across the room, I can't tick that one. I'm guessing that's what they mean. So, no, I think. Ever miss your subway stop because you're reading a book? Bus stop, yes, I have. Subway stop, there's no subway around. So, I mean, I'm going to tick it because it's happened on bus, and hasn't happened on train yet, but on the bus, definitely. I mean, I took a bus and ended up at the terminus, so when I didn't have to get up at the terminus, but miles before. So yes, I've definitely missed my stop. Ever miss your train entirely because you're reading a book? Yes, I have. I was reading a book, then delayed me to get to the train station, and so I missed the train and had to get the next train. Thankfully, it was one of those trains that was frequent enough, but that has already happened. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Ever call in sick to work so that you can finish a book? No, I have not done this. I only have had summer jobs and they've been really interesting. I mean, one of the summer jobs I've had was working in a museum, so I was surrounded by books there quite a lot. which is really cool. And yeah, because of that, there was no reason for me to want to even call in sick, because I was surrounded by old books and really cool, like, historical artifacts. So that kind of trumped wanting to be sick to finish a book. I just bring the book with me. Bring the book with me and read whenever I can. I think that makes more sense than calling in sick, because, I mean, just go to work and you're being paid to do your job. So yeah, no, that is not something I've done. Ever wear headphones with no music while reading so no one interrupts you? I mean, obviously I'm wearing headphones when I'm listening to an audiobook. I have my headphones right here because I was listening to an audiobook before I was filming. But do I ever wear headphones without any music so that no one interrupts me? No, I don't think I've ever done this. Ever ask yourself, WWMFC, what would my favorite character do when faced with a real life issue? I don't think so. I'll consider different ways the situation could turn out and then, like, decide from that, but I wouldn't put myself in the feet of a character to decide, because, I mean, a character would make their decisions based on their background, in a sense, and to a situation that I'm in, that wouldn't fit, because the character isn't me. I'm obviously a distinct person from a character, unless it's a character I wrote who's very much like me, but otherwise I don't think this would apply. So no, I can't take that one. Give books instead of advice when a friend comes to you for help. I mean, I've given books to friends, but instead of advice, I don't think so. I don't think I've done that. Next is, have extreme rules for whenever you loan a book to a friend. Why did I put on a voice? I don't know. I don't remember loaning any books to friends apart from maybe my siblings, and I know that my brother will look after books. He's even more particular about looking after books than I am. If you open up a book more than like a slight crack, like this, he will go mad. So I don't have to worry about him damaging any of my books. My sister's a different story. I have told her to be a bit more careful with books, and other people I don't have to mention, but one of them will be watching this, who loves to fold the cover of the book underneath the book while they're reading. Painful. He did it to, yes, I'm not going to say any more though, did it to one of my books a few years ago, and I believe it was my copy of Gone by Michael Grant. And yes, I remember this distinctly because it was so painful to see this destruction of a book. Oh, but yeah, so I wouldn't say I have extreme rules, but just don't damage the book. So I won't take that box. Refuse to loan out your books. No, I do loan out my books a bit, but rarely. I mean, if I have told friends, look, if you want a book to read, you can come to me and ask, and obviously I would accept in those cases. Have trouble walking past a bookstore. Yes. I was in Tübingen not too long ago, and I walked past 1, 2, 3, 4 bookstores that I can think of, and I walked into 3 of them, I think. Were there 4 bookstores? I can't remember. I definitely know that I walked into 3. So yeah. Okay, moving on. Know all of your local booksellers by name. Unfortunately, where I live, there are no local booksellers. There are very few bookstores or shops or anything actually in the neighborhood. It's pretty desolate. Is that the right word? Desolate? And unfortunately, also when I go to a little further out, depending on where I go, the bookstores are specific to like a language, so they'd either be French or German, and I read mostly in English. Even though I don't mind reading in French and German, if a book is written in English, I want to read in English. Take your paycheck straight to a local bookstore. It'd be great if I had a paycheck. I've had to make sure that I don't spend too much money on books, because there were times when I've kind of gone on a book buying spree and just gone crazy and bought a ton of books. I have gotten better at spending less money on books, so that's good, I guess. Spending less money in general, actually, but yeah. So no, I don't take my paycheck straight to a bookstore. Buy books even when you can't make rent. I haven't been in a situation yet where I haven't been able to pay rent, because where I've been living, I've always had to pay for the year ahead of time, or for at least the semester. So there's never been a time when I haven't had money to pay for rent because rent was paid ahead. Though if I had been in a situation where I had to pay monthly, it may have been a bit trickier, because there are some months when during college, where I didn't pay as much attention to how much I was spending. But no, I've never been in a situation where I haven't been able to make rent. Avoid moving at all costs because your library is so large. No, I haven't avoided it, but it definitely is something to be considered when you're moving. You don't want to have to leave any books behind. You don't want to have to be in a situation where you are separated from your books. I mean, obviously, if you have some of them with you, you're fine. But yeah, you do want to make sure that wherever you're going or wherever you're coming from, that you have access to all your books and that you don't have to give them away. That would be really sad. Sacrifice all your belongings aside from your books if you ever do end up having to move, probably because of the aforementioned rent thing. There's a lot of things I could do without that I have that are not books. Yes. So, maybe not all my belongings, but a good chunk of them. So I am going to tick that box. Feel most at home in a bookstore or library? I feel so home. Oh, so at home in a place where there's books. Yes, absolutely. Ever fantasize about kidnapping your favorite authors to get them to finish your favorite series? George R. R. Martin. That wasn't the question. I actually have yet to read A Song on Ice of Fire, so I'm not in the same boat there for that one. I don't personally feel that I would want to force an author to finish a book, because I know that there's a lot of creative freedom that is destroyed by deadlines. I find that, yes, deadlines are useful and deadlines do help you to get somewhere sometimes, good for first drafts and such, but otherwise, I'll be happy getting the book whenever it's finished, you know? In my personal case, yes, there's a book that I'd really like to see soon. It's the third book in the Kingkiller Chronicle series by Patrick Rothfuss. But, I mean, if it's not soon, it's not soon, and that's just the way it is. I have a lot of other books that I want to read, a lot of books on my TBR. Yeah, a lot of books on my TBR. I'll read them first. I don't mind waiting. Of course, I want to find out what happens, but the longer I'm waiting, the more I imagine how it could be. And then when I see how the author takes it, I'll discover what route was chosen. I'm fine with not kidnapping my favorite author, apart from the fact that it's just a little bit illegal to do so, but if we forget that fact, I still wouldn't do it. But yeah, okay, so moving on. Ever fantasize about kidnapping your favorite authors for other purposes? I don't know who that author is, so I can't comment on that specifically, but no, I don't have any reasons to kidnap anyone. Get a little tyrannical when it comes to book clubs. Tyrannical at book clubs? No, I'm quite happy just being part of a book club with friends, so no tyranny here on this side. Follow more authors than friends on Twitter? No, I follow a lot of booktubers and a lot of people who make content on the internet, and they're mostly the people I would be following. I think they're also mostly the people that are following me as well, so I don't follow that many authors. I follow a few. I have made a list of publishing houses that I follow. I think there may be some authors on that list as well, but I do follow more other people, so friends and booktubers and book bloggers than authors on Twitter. Not actually use social media because it cuts into your reading time. I did just say I use Twitter, but also, I mean, I use YouTube. This is on YouTube, so no, I do actually use social media, and it's great fun. But I do understand how it does cut into your reading time, and I have reduced the amount of time I've spent on social media recently to spend more time reading. Pride yourself on your ability to turn anything into a bookmark. Ooh, I have used a lot of things as bookmarks. I've used books as bookmarks. I've used batteries as bookmarks. I've used prescriptions. I've used just bills. The information thing for medication, like that's from the boxes, I've used that. I've used just sheets of paper, actual bookmarks as well, cables, my phone. Yeah, no, definitely. I've definitely done this. Okay, moving on. Carry at least one book on your person at all times. I mean, currently have an audiobook with me, so there's that. I also have an audiobook on Audible that I am currently listening to. I'm thinking if I have anything else. Like right now beside me, those are the only ones I have. That's because this is where I film videos, and yeah, they're on the bookshelves. The books I'm reading are mostly in my room, in my coat, or in my bag. So when I am going out, I always have at least one book. Saying at least one book, if I have my bag with me, I have a dozen books with me, or half a dozen to a dozen books with me at all times, and notebooks and pens, usually. So usually if someone asked me for pen and paper, I would have it. It happened once recently that I didn't, and that was very, very, very surprising. But yes, I always carry a book on my person at all times. Ever try to cook meals featured in your favorite books? I don't think so. I mean, I like cooking, and I like preparing loads of different types of dishes, but I haven't tried doing this. No, I haven't done that yet. Ever wish you could be friends with your favorite character? Yes. I mean, it would be great. It'd be quite interesting. I mean, I'd probably spend time just asking them loads of questions at first about their universe. It's definitely something I have considered. So yes, something I have wished. Ever wish you could date your favorite character? Yes. I mean, at some point I did, definitely. One of my favorite characters is Luna Lovegood, so that is definitely a character that has crossed my mind. So yes. Ever dress up as characters of your favorite books? Yes. I'm pretty sure I've already done this. Isn't that what Carnival and Halloween are for? I've done this, yes. Always read the book before you see the movie. I have a confession to make. No, I have not always read the book before seeing the movie. I saw the Hobbit films and the Lord of the Rings films, but I still have yet to read all of those. I know, so unfortunately I can't tick this box. But I usually do. I also saw the Martian film before reading the book, but I still have to read that book, but I do plan on reading it. It really, really looks cool and interesting, and in general, it's something I want to read. So, usually I would, but unfortunately not always, so I can't tick the box. Never see the movie because you're worried it will ruin your perfect imagining of the book. That idea doesn't cross my mind. I see movies as an interpretation and as a possible way of seeing the book and its universe. But I don't see it as the true way of the universe. I see it as said, an interpretation. It's a take on what the book is about. It's like taking a picture of a scenery. The picture is going to show you an instant, an image, a version, a way of looking at it. But if you go there yourself to that scenery, it will never look the way it did in the picture, because that moment is past, that moment is gone. The person who saw or took that picture, and the moment where the world or the place looked like that, isn't like that anymore. And thus, yeah, you can't see it the same way. It's just not possible. But it's a way of showing their way of seeing it. So no, I'm not worried. I do go in there knowing full well this is an interpretation. We'll see what they came up with. Judge people by their taste in books. No, I don't. I like reading books. Other people like reading books. I read children's books. I know that some people will judge me about that. It's like, oh, you read children's books. Why would you read children's books? Because they're amazing. They are absolutely amazing. Children's books are really great fun to read. And saying that children's books are less advanced or less interesting because they're aimed at children rather than adults, rather than my age group or whatever, is having a very limited view of the world. It is like saying that the only books you should read are classics because they're classics for a reason. You know, you should read whatever you want to read, whether that includes classics, whether that includes children's books, whether it's mangas, audiobooks, whatever it may be, the format or the type of book, the genre. It's up to you what you read. And so no, I don't judge people on their taste of books. I am quite happy when people are proud of whatever they read and don't shy behind hiding the fact that they may read, say, young adult when they're in their 20s, or children's books when they're in their 20s. It's just, yeah, that's just what you read because that's what you like. That's it. So no, I don't judge people there. Moving on. Sometimes wish that you lived in the fantasy universe of your favorite books instead of the mundane real world. Yes, I have wished to live in fantasy universes, and it definitely is something of interest. I mean, I loved the Kingkiller Chronicle universe, the Four Corners, I believe it's called. That's such a beautiful, interesting, intricate world with the magic system, and just, it's really cool. I really enjoy it, and I'd love to visit it at least. Live there long term, maybe not, you know, it's still very interesting. Though, I would never call the real world mundane. There is so much to learn, so much to see in our world, that I cannot call the world mundane. It's incredible. Our world is incredible. And whenever someone says this or thinks this, my first reaction is, but every book you read was written by someone in our world. Meaning that our imaginations and what we can achieve and do in our world, in our life, in the real world, is just incredible. And that cannot be mundane. How can a mundane world create such fantastical worlds? I mean, yes, specific position that you're in or place that you're in at one moment in time may be mundane feeling, maybe mundane, maybe so, but there's always the possibility of change, which makes things exciting, I think. But yeah. Okay, so sometimes yes, and often yes too. Know in your heart that real world is the fantasy, and that the world of your books is the true reality. No, I don't. I don't think that. I mean, the books are really fun to read, obviously, but I still do like seeing our world and then imagining just these worlds as fantasy. Like, yes. So no, I won't take that one. Okay, last question. Get jealous of your local bookstore's cat. Well, I have to say, I've never been in a bookstore where there's been a cat. Never. I've never actually encountered this. Which, I mean, if this is a thing, this is really cool. I mean, I've seen it in films where there's been a cat jumping around and maybe on the books and all. And I mean, like, living in the bookstore, that's a life. That's such cool. Like, because of that, like, the image I have of a local bookstore cat, yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. Like, you just get to live there. So, yes, a bit, just a bit. So, yeah. Let's see what my results are, right? You show 50 out of 77 symptoms of book addiction. Congratulations, you have an extreme reading problem. You cannot resist the siren song of an unread book. Luckily, there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't forget to stop reading every once in a while and call your mother. Fair enough. That's a fair enough. Yeah. I'll try and remember that. Maybe set an alarm every so often. Well, that was the book addict tag, but the how much of a book addict are you quiz. There we go. Got it right. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I guess I'm going to tag a few people. I'm going to tag Wolfie from Silly Little Ravenclaw. I'm going to tag Joe from Joe Reads Books. I'm going to tag Jessica from Breathe and Read. I'm going to tag Marina from You Found Marina, and Jay from Captured in Words, as well as Clara from Clara Reads Books. And yeah, that should be enough for this time. I hope you enjoyed watching. I had so much fun doing this. These questions are really fun to do. I hope you all enjoy doing them. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you with a subscribe button, my most recent video, as well as a video I think you're really going to like. I will see you next week with another video. That's all from me. Bye.